have a table, sorry, let me go to the training sales app. Okay, so I have one tab for training programs. Okay, so this is the one that we converted from the campaigns. We have the leads where we'll track all the leads, and we have all the modules, so which is basically coming from the products. Apart from this, we also need to track the payments thing. So this is done, this is done, this is done. Okay, payment thing we need, and then we will create a record type for trainer and leads in the leads object, right? So that is what we were discussing in last session. So before we move into that, let us quickly create a payment thing. Okay. Before I create the payment object, let's go and set up that lead thing here. So I want the trainers as well as the attendees or candidates to be tracked under the same leads object. All right. So in that case, as we discussed, we are going to deal with record type. Okay. So when you have two different types of record getting into the same object, then we use something called record type. Okay. So what is a record type? Now record type is basically the concept of having different types of records in the same object. So for example, I do have an object called lead. Okay. In lead, I am putting the information of students as well as trainers. Okay, this is an example of record type. So for student, I might need some different values, and for trainers, I might need some different values. This is what a record type is. Alright, so let's go and create. How do we do this record type thing? It's pretty simple. We're talking about lead object, so we'll just go to setup and then go to customize, then go to leads, and under leads there is something called record types. Alright, so you just need to click on this record types thing here, click on the new record type, enter the name for the process. Just click on save. Save. Now go to the record type, create a new record type. Okay. Now record type label will be there are two types of two record types which I am trying to create. So first one is a trainer and second one is the lead. So enable it for all the profiles. Now we understand this, we know what profile is. So there are these profiles, let it be enabled for all the profiles. Let it be as it is, don't make any changes, click on save. Alright, so we have created a record type called trainer. and then you create another record type here. Again go and create another record type for the student. So just go ahead and click on new record type, and this time make it student. The same generic process. Enable for all profile. Next. Save. Okay. Now we have created two different record types for leads, right? One is trainer, one is student. Alright. Though I have not made any changes in the record types, but I have created the record types. Now the moment we go to leads and we click on new, see, it asks you want to enter the information of a student or a trainer. Okay. So if you want to enter the information of a student, select student. If you want to enter the information of a trainer, select trainer. All right. So what we have done, we have successfully created the record types, two different types of records for student as well as trainer. Are we clear on this part? This concept clear? So there are two ways you can put trainer as well as student information in the same object. One, you could have created a pick list. Okay, and that pick list you could have given trainer or student value. And the second that you can do is you can include a record type. Okay, so we have just done a record type. So now every time someone tries to create a lead, they will be asked whether they want this student or trainer thing to be selected first before the record can be entered. All right.
So, so depending upon what we select in the pick list, the UI is changing accordingly.
Can you please repeat? Could not understand.
So basically, if we select trainer as in the pick list, if we select trainer, will the UI changes to
you can
according to the requirements?
Yeah, according to the requirement, you can customize the UI part for two different record types. So that is something which can be done.
Oh, okay.
But we will get into the change of UI once we are talking about the user interface. For now, I think we just understand this concept and how it is done. All right, but yes, we can definitely have two different user interfaces for two different record types. Now the next thing that we have to look into is, now let's go into the concept of it. Do I need a record type or I need to just have a pick list? Okay, so that is something that we have to understand. Now I want you guys to tell me, do we need a record type here or we just need a pick list? Now for that you just have to look into these two objects and tell me that do we need a record type or a pick list? What is your take on this? Okay, why do you think so? Why record type? Why not pick list?
Because most of the fields are similar, right?
So then it should be pick list, right? See, pick list is just one drop down field like this included. That's it. In that you will select whether he's a trainer or he is a student. Got it? So why do we need a record type for that? If the fields are similar, then a pick list is a better option, because maintaining data using pick list is going to be a lot more easier for you. Once you create record type, you are actually increasing one level of complexity for your end users. I mean, you as a developer definitely will have understanding about these things, or you as a consultant will understand this. But the point is that for end user, we are making it a little more complex. So first, we should always try to manage things with the pick list. If there are different types of records, they should be managed using the pick list before jumping into the record type. Okay. Now you tell me, can we manage this with the pick list thing? Though I just wanted to show you how a record type works, but now honestly tell me, do we need a record type here, or we can simply manage with a pick list? Look into the data requirement.
We can manage with pick list. We can manage with pick list too.
We can manage with a pick list. Yeah. Anyone who does not agree? Anyone who feels that no, we definitely need a record type? So now see, you all are consultants, and I mean this is something that is your concept. Yeah, go ahead.
I think for generating report, record type is required.
No. The report also can be generated, na? For with the pick listing. What is the problem? Generate a report of all the leads where type is equal to trainer. There is no problem with the report also. So then we pretty much agree. Sorry.
Then why you have record type? Now I'm getting it out.
That is a question, or that's something that you're just making a statement?
No, that's the same question I am asking you. I'm getting it out now. We can now if I start thinking, I feel with pick list we can manage, then why a record type?
Record type, if the fields are different, significantly different. Okay, if the fields that you need to store for a trainer and the fields that you need to store for a student have a lot of difference, then record type, right? But here that is not the case. The fields, you see, start looking into this. First name, last name, trainer, email, mobile, alternate, skill set. Okay, skill set is one field that we might not have for the candidate, but when we want, we can have that field for candidate, that what he knows and not. So it does not make any harm to that student record. Availability of the student is also something we need to track. Student should also tell us that whether what times he is available, so that we can try and approach him for certain training programs. And his city, state, country, all these things are there. So pretty much similar here. Correct. So if we have different fields required, then it would have been a record type. Okay. For example, for an example, you take an example of a doctor and a patient. A patient has a certain health history, doctor does not have a health history, that sort of thing. Here we do not have that sort of requirement. I think most of the fields that we are tracking for the trainer and the students is same. Okay, so we can still manage with a pick list. Alright. However, having said that, this is something which I feel. Okay, this is something which I feel because right now I am the consultant, or I am the person who is designing. There is no harm if you design a record type also for this. Got it? So,
what if, sir, what if one of the field is different? Only one field is different. There are like 10 fields. Only one field is different. Like in a given scenario.
So that is the thing. I mean, you see, this is a decision that you have to make. So both these approaches, none of them is incorrect. Both of them are correct. Both of them are used for segregating the records. That's absolutely fine. You have to take a call on this when you are a consultant. You have to take a call on this depending on, based on our experience, based on, how we feel. If there is one field different, you can, still make it record type, or you can still manage with drop down, right? So what we
So
consider
when I
is,
put a pick list, sir, if one field is different, sir, sorry to interrupting. If there is one field different and if I select pick list, I should leave that as blank, right?
you can, yeah, you can make that as blank, leave it, or make it not applicable. Got it? So that sort of thing can be done.
Okay.
So, as I was saying, that both the approaches are correct. Nothing is incorrect, nothing is wrong. It's just that which one is more efficient. So, based on your experience, now you guys have just started listening about record type for the first time. The moment you start, designing applications and getting into it, you will start realizing that, okay, fine, what is the stage where my customer needs a record type? Is it okay to design? So that is a completely, that's going to be your call at that point of time, that okay, fine, whether I put a record type here or I do not put a record type. My suggestion, or one of the best practices, is try to avoid a record type till the time you can, right? Because record type anyhow is going to make your system a little more complex. So that is the thing. All right, I just wanted you guys to understand this concept. Now what happens is, you have to, end user will have to select the lead, then he has to select the record type, and then he'll have to enter. So this makes the system a little more complex. Okay. Instead, what we could have done is we could have easily created a field called type or record type, which is a drop down, and the end user selects it, whether he is a trainer or a student. Okay. All right.
See?
Yeah.
Irrespective of all this, I just had a doubt. I don't know if it fits in this situation. If I have to make one particular field as a required field, then how do you do that?
While you create the field, microphones on mute, please. Someone is sleeping. Dude. Who is that? Early morning time. Yeah. Okay. So if you want to make a field required, then you just have to, while you create the field, at that time you will have to make it required. Okay. While we create the field, there is an option always require this field. So that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So that's there. We have created our record type. Now I will just make these changes here, because we realize that we can still manage with drop down kind of a thing. So let's not get into the record type. So let's go to the customize leads. Okay, so this record type needs to be deactivated. Okay, if you want, you can just go ahead and click on setup, go to customize leads, and then you can create a field like record type kind of a drop down field here as a new custom field also, right? All right. So this is how this record type thing works. Now the other thing that we were talking about, attendees. Attendees goes to the campaign member, which is already there, right? Attendee goes to the campaign member. So for any training program, you can have a campaign member. I think we created one yesterday. Let's say we have a Java training in March. You can add attendees to this, add members. So now it has become training program members, which is similar to attendee, right? Now you can search for people from here, from the leads table, and add them as attendees in that particular application or in that training program. Clear? We need one more thing, which is a payment. Okay. So payment is gonna be
Jit, why member type to search as leads?
member type to search as lead. Members are coming, attendees coming from the leads table only, right? The data of the attendees is stored in leads only, right?
Okay, okay.
All right. So
And for training program, look up that one. In attendees, we have another field called training program, and it is a lookup. How do we do that?
so you can no, so that is automatically set that because you are going to the training program and then you
Okay,
are
and this
adding it. So
attendee is a member
yeah,
of
so
training.
first of all, you are selecting the training program, so you don't have to do that lookup thing. You will
Oh, okay,
select this thing.
okay.
Got it. So see, I mean, with three standard objects, I mean, we have not even used any custom object, and we have designed an application which looks entirely different from the normal sales process. So we have a usual sales process, and this one is pretty much different from the usual sales process. So this is not the usual lead, account, contact, that sort of thing. This is a complete sales process where we are tracking training programs, students, trainers, modules, and we have used only three standard objects, and we have designed it pretty much as per our requirements. So the modules will be tracked here. Okay. Now let us quickly get into this and understand, are we tracking all the details? ID, by default Salesforce tracks ID, so I don't need this. Module, okay, which product we are talking about, that is something which needs to be tracked under the training program. Who is going to be the trainer, that needs to be connected. So these two things are missing, right? These two things I need to have in the training program. So pretty simple, just go to your setup. Give me a moment, one moment please. Okay, so here we are. So if you want to make any changes to the campaign, we can just go to the setup, customize campaign, because I need to connect that with a trainer and we need to connect that with a training module also. Training module is nothing but product, so you should just have a lookup with product. And then we should have a lookup with the this trainer comes from which object? It comes from lead. So this is what we just need to have there. Got it? So that sort of setup we can do here as well. Clear on this? The application concept. Now it's all about creating the fields. So I want you guys to actually go back and create these objects and the fields on your system. So on your developer orgs, create the objects. Anyone who feels that they want to create all the custom objects, that's also fine. I've just shown you how to use the standard objects for different things, but for your practice, if you plan to create all custom objects, that's also a good idea. Okay, so that you get a little more clarity on how objects and fields are created. Now, on the similar lines, we have just we just have one more thing to discuss here. That this is just one application design concept, right? Now, this ways we can think of 5 different application concepts and design those things. Got it? Vishal says he has a question. Yeah, Vishal, please go ahead.
Yeah, excuse me, sir. I'm sorry for interrupting in the middle. So,
No problem.
okay, I'm asking about the payment object. We have the ID field, right? So, without referencing to the particular training, particular course or particular student, how can you pay the fee, sir?
Without referencing to the student, see, that will be reference to the attendee, na? See.
Okay.
First thing, there will be a training program. Okay. Okay, let's quickly set it up. Just give me a couple of minutes. Let me just set it up here. This is a different login, so okay. So let's set it up again. We did it the other day, but that was a different login. I don't want to use that. So we'll create our app.
Okay.
The first thing we are gonna create the app. I want everyone to follow in case you have not followed in the last session how we are designing this. So I think pretty simple. We just create the app. We'll put those things there, and name of my app will be Training Manager. Whatever I want, I can put the name. Click on next. So we need the campaigns thing here, we need the leads thing here, and what else do we need? We need one more, which is the products, right? So all 3 standard objects I have taken. I have not taken any custom objects, so that's fine. Make it visible, click on save. So my Training Manager app is here. Campaigns, leads, products, right? Now if we want, we can go ahead and change the labels. Okay. So I'm not changing the labels right now. I'll just manage with the campaign thing. So under campaigns, we are going to track the training program. So this is how your business process should work. See, when we start designing application, we also start thinking about the business process, how things will flow, right? So first of all, the end user will come and they will enter their training program details here. Okay, so let's say this is a new training program that they are going to do, which is Java training. Okay. Make it active. Okay, here type, I told you there can be two types. One can be a training program, one can be a promotional event, right? So here we can make it two different things. All right, so there will be a start date. Let's say start date is this, end date is this, and then click on save. Okay, so first thing, there's a training program which the company schedules, and then they start enrolling people for it. Okay, so let's say I have another lead here. Name is Mr. Vishal Macha. Okay. So I have lead. Now this lead wants to attend that training program. So ideally what the end user should do, he should go to the training program, click on that and click on manage members, add members. So there are two ways we can add this lead into the training program. One, he can come here and from here he can search for the details. Let's say where the first name equals or name starts with Vishal. Yeah. So one, this person can be added from here. The other option is under the leads there is an option to add this person to a certain campaign. So under the lead also there is one option, add to campaign. So from here also this person can be assigned to a certain campaign. Okay. Now once you have added this person to that campaign, then you start tracking the payment for it. So initially this guy has shown interest and he wants to attend that training program. That is where we should start tracking him for payment and all that stuff. Got it?
This adding of members is the attendees, right?
Yes, right. So that is attendee. Right. So basically in Salesforce terminology, they have called it campaign member, means people who are attending that particular program. That is what a member means. For us, that is an attendee, right? So different businesses can have different, terminologies, but we'll just look into the business aspect of it, how things are connected and all, and we will just, get that stuff here. All right. So now other thing that what else we need to have in this training program, where is the trainer mentioned? We do not have the trainer mentioned here, right? Who's going to be the trainer? That's not mentioned, right? So let me create one more field for this. How will we do that? Go to setup, customize, and go to campaigns. Yes, fields. Okay, click on new field. So this trainer is going to be a lookup field, right? So select lookup relationship, go to next, connected to the lead. Trainer comes from the lead object. We'll call it trainer. So I've created a custom field on that particular object campaign, which will allow me to select the trainer. But who is the trainer for that particular training program? Okay. So for campaigns, now if you try to create a campaign, you have an option of putting the trainer details as well. See, here you can select a trainer. But this trainer is coming from the leads. So the other thing that I need to do is I need to have a segregation on the leads also, right? So when the lead is being created, at that time I should define whether the lead information is of a student or of a trainer, and we need to make sure that while I'm selecting a trainer, I should only get to see the trainer data. Okay. So for that thing, we do not have a type thing here, so let me put a type. Just go to setup, customized leads, no, not record types, field. So this time we are just going to manage it with a pick list. Okay, we are not creating a different record type. So this will be a pick list. Click on next. You can call it type, and there are two options here, trainer or student. Or sometimes I think yesterday I was talking about an example of buyer and seller, right? So there you will have an option looking to buy or looking to sell, that sort of thing. Okay, so trainer, student, if you do not want to call it, you can say for so certain portals you must have seen, these job portals and all those things. They ask you are willing to provide a job or you want a job for yourself, that sort of thing. So you can say that, okay, looking for training. The ultimate goal is to segregate the data to distinguish the trainers from the students. So I can say looking for training, offering training, that sort of thing. So let me just make it this way. Trainer and student, this point of time. Save it. Okay. Now when you create a lead, you can specify whether you are creating a trainer detail or a student detail. So here it is, trainer detail. Okay. So now we are able to enter both the information into the lead table, the trainers as well as the students. Right? So trainers will be few, students will be a lot of them. Now I entered another detail also, Vishal, who is a student. Okay. Now what happens is, the moment I try to add a trainer to the to the training program, the moment you try to add a trainer to the training program, you just want to make sure that only the trainers are available to you. See, Vishal is a student, you don't want to add Vishal as a trainer. And to avoid confusion, because you'll have a lot of students, now here on this lookup option, You just want to make sure only the trainers are available. Very much logical, right? I might have 5,000 student records in that database. If it gives me the list of that long 5,000 kind of people, then it becomes very difficult for us, for the end user basically, right? So now our next business requirement is just to make sure that only the records, only the leads where the type is trainer, that should be available when I'm trying to search a trainer. Okay, the requirement makes sense to everyone? Okay.
Or else you can also have in that lookup section where you picked up, again it should show type.
Yeah, but even if it shows, I mean, the problem does not get resolved, because even if it shows, then it will show a lot of things there, So
Right.
even if it shows the record type, that is not going to help me. I just want to make things simple. I just want only the trainer should be available there. Okay. Now what do we do there? We will simply go ahead and put put a filter condition here, which is called a lookup filter. Okay, this is called a lookup filter. Okay, what is a lookup filter? Lookup filter is basically a type of filter that you put on the lookup values. What values can be looked up? So this lookup filter has to be put on campaign object, because the lookup field is on campaign. So let's just go to setup. It's very simple. Setup, and then go to customize, and then go to campaigns. Do you see this related lookup filters? This is what we have to do. Just click on this. So first of all, go to the field. Which field are we talking about? Trainer field. So go to this trainer field and then add the lookup filter. Got it? Go to that trainer field, and this is where I want to put the filter. Expand it, put that filter. Okay. Owner ID matches, no, this I don't want. Trainer equals trainer type. Okay, trainer type equals to a certain value equals trainer. Okay, the trainer field on the campaign, in that there is a type that should be equal to trainer. Okay, that should not be equal, trainer type should not be student, it should be trainer. Correct? So that is what we have done. So I've defined my filter criteria. Enable this filter, save it.
We have to give and also, right? And student type should be equal to student.
No, why student type? So I do not have a a student field here. I have a trainer field here, right? So I'm saying
You have Vishal, right? Student profile, right?
microphones on mute, please. No, I have Vishal, that is a individual, but am I tracking that record as a trainer? I'm going to define the type for this record. This is a trainer, this is not student, right?
Okay.
Yeah, if you specify both using AND operator, we will return both values, right? As a trainer and a student.
Right. But here
So
I
what
do
the
not
user-
need that thing.
Yes, yes, yes.
In this case, we do not need a student. Why should I, put a student? My simple logic is
Yeah, yeah.
when I am selecting a trainer, I
If
just
you
need
select
people who are trainers.
Students.
No, who are trainers.
Okay.
Good. Why students?
If we do and again and lookup, we'll get student also.
Yes.
Okay.
If you do or, then you will get student also. Yeah,
Yeah.
not and or.
Okay.
But we don't
Okay.
need the student type. We just need trainers. So now see, now my job has become easier. Now it does not show me Vishal anymore. It simply shows me that okay, only the trainers who are listed, they will be available here. So this makes life easier for the end user, because there will be hardly let's say 10, 15, 20 or 100 trainers, but they can 10,000 students. So it becomes easier for them to track things here. All right. Clear on this? Are we okay? Now the other part is all right. The other part that we have is the module, right? The products. Let's see what all fields we are missing. So we'll have to create one more field here for the product on the training program, basically on the campaign. But before that, in the product itself, what all fields do we need? Technology, module, duration, these kind of things are required on that. Okay, the product and all that stuff. Okay, so those things can be tracked in the product. So currently I have a few options here. Product name, code, family, active or inactive. All right. So this thing is there. If you want, you can add few fields like which technology, let's say Java basics. Okay, and then you can have a product family here defined for it and all that kind of stuff. Correct? So that thing can be done, I think. Should not be a problem. What else do we need to require? So module, I think this is more of the name of the training program. This is the name. This is going to be text. Technology, which is a pick list, we can manage with this existing product family. Do you see this pick list already available? Product family. If you want to put values into it, you can just go to setup and then customize. Go to products and go to the fields, right? Which field are we talking about? We're talking about product family field. Okay, let's click on this. And you can add values to it. Like product family is basically the categories. So let's say my categories are programming, database, CRM, ERP. Let's say these kind of categories we have, right? Save it. Okay, so this can be the product family, and then you can have subcategory under programming. You can have let's say Java, C++. Under database you can have Oracle, Hadoop. Under CRM you can have Salesforce. Under ERP you can have maybe SAP kind of thing. So that sort of thing. Or we could have straight away, if we feel that we do not have a huge product line, then we could have directly put the technology names here as well. So like you simply include Java, Salesforce, Android, whatever. Then you should remove these things, programming database and all this kind of stuff. Clear? Delete. All right, we are okay in this. Let me know if you have any questions. So all these things you guys have to take up the scenarios and do it. You will not understand any of things without doing them. All right. Pick the scenario, do it, and then only we start understanding it. So I think what we have done concept wise is pretty simple. So now we have started understanding how do we use standard objects and how do we create the custom ones, and based on the requirement we'll pick the standard or the custom one and then use that. All right, so that is how we work on that part. Okay, so this is what we're going to do today. You guys can go back and practice a little more on this, try to get these things done on your own application as well. Right, tomorrow once we meet we will learn a little more about the customization part, what else can be customized and how it can be customized. All right, and then again we will come back to this application design and try to implement those customizations on this application. All right, and as I told you that from here you guys can start thinking of more application. Now you have understood how things are, right? I want you guys to design some application like for a similar thing. Like now we understand how a training company is managing. Now think about a doctor's clinic. There can be multiple doctors, okay, and there can be patients, and there are appointments, right? So there's a doctor's clinic. They just want to manage their doctor's appointments, availability of the doctor, who is the patient, health history of the patient. That is something which we want to do. Valid requirement, right? Same way, just think about another sales process for every business. I mean, whatever you understand, you will see that every business process has a certain flow of actions during the sales process. Just think of a real estate business. So what happens with the real estate? I'm talking about selling. Where the properties are being sold. So there is a person who is interested, he shows interest, and then there is a certain site visit which happens, and after that the actual sales happen. All right. Similarly, think about an interior designing company. What is their sales process? They actually go review the scope of work, and then they drop in a quotation. Got that thing? So there is a custom, then there is a certain review of the work done by their interior design architects, and then there's a quotation which is sent. So whatever requirement you guys think that you are aware of, you can start thinking of that business process and design a data model like this. Right, after that, designing an application is going to be simple stuff for you guys. All right. Clear? Are we okay on this? Please let me know if you have any questions, doubts. In fact, what I want is, I want you guys to, form small teams and, take up one application concept and try to design that sort of thing also. Okay. But before that, you guys come up with your own concepts of applications. Let me see how, you are working on that. And if we see that, some people are really showing interest, then I will ask you guys to, form teams and then,